YouTube, what's up? Brian Farr here. Welcome back. It's been probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks since the last video. It's been busy out here in Fuzzland. We are in the process of moving between that and doctor visits. I got sick, and then my wife got sick, and then we're also trying taking care of a few other things that we're dealing with. But it is what it is. So life, life gets busy. You know how it is. But we're here. We're living. We're breathing. We got a roof over our head. No complaints. So welcome back. This is the Daily Squeeze. Missed you guys. Well, let's get into it. Today a little bit of a wackadoo session, kind of boring, if you ask me. Nothing too exciting out there. This week's a little bit interesting. We got CPI, big inflationary data, and I'm looking at my setup here, and I got a little bit of a shadow, so I'm really dark, so I apologize. But fortunately, because we're moving, hopefully this new office setup, which should be a lot better. We won't have to deal with some of this nuances kind of thing. But anyway, if you're kind of looking at it like, Fuzz, you look a little, shadowy. Yeah, probably. But anyway, markets closed a little bit on the mixed end. The Dow did end up closing green on the day, despite all the woes from Boeing. Boeing's having a little bit of a tough time. The Wall Street Journal came out with a report stating that the Department of Justice is looking into a criminal investigation into Boeing in regards to the Alaska Airlines mishap back in January. Boeing, they still have issues, and we saw it all last week. Just nothing but bad reports coming out of their flights and stuff, out of their MAX planes. And I even heard a saying out there, if it's Boeing, I'm not going. So yeah, people are starting to get nervous, and that's a bad thing. Boeing's a big American made company out there, and the FAA and all that has done tons of tremendous work to have flying and all that kind of good stuff to be a trustworthy industry, and all that is kind of taking a downhill. I don't know what they got going on in Boeing. I certainly don't trust it too much right now. You won't catch me in a MAX plane at all, but off we go. Anyway, Q's down 0.37%, a little bit of woes there in profit taking with the semiconductors. NVDA down slightly today. Small caps also down after bumping their head on heavy resistance at about the 210 mark lately. Bitcoin, yeah, all you crypto dads out there, all you crypto players, yeah, you're having a good time right now. Bitcoin off to record new highs, trading near the 73,000 mark, up about 5% today. Bitcoin's just been on an absolute tear lately, and we'll take a look at a few of those names as well. But let's get into it. I'm Brian Farr, VP of Stock Analytics with Stock Dads. I appreciate you. Thanks for your patience the past few weeks, week and a half or so. But yeah, let's get back into things. This is your Daily Squeeze. All right, let's just go ahead and jump into a few things. Oh, there I am. Hey, welcome back. Let's just go ahead and jump into the main indices here. Let's look at the SPY, down about 0.09%, excuse me, relatively flat on the day. We can see on this really teeny tiny candle here, not much movement. We can see that we are still in a very clear uptrend, and we can confirm that by looking at the oscillator. We are in a bullish trend. We have positive momentum, and nothing seems to be derailing that whatsoever. We've already had plenty of economic prints. We've had Powell testimony these last week, 2 rounds of Powell testimony. That did nothing to derail this strong market momentum, although the moves have gotten a little bit tiny, but nonetheless, we're still trending on this bullish wave here. 503.50 is my current support zone here for the SPY. So if we do get a a drawdown, I will want to see that key spot hold. But as far as the dynamic support, we can see that this white line, this is your 21 exponential moving average, your 21 EMA. Every single time that we've pretty much dipped down to it, it's been a nice little dip by here. As you can see, ever since this trend was started back here in October, we've had this nice strong rally, and any pullbacks to the daily mean have been good dip buying opportunities, especially with names like the semiconductors. We can also go in and look at the NASDAQ and confirm this as well. Let's see, let me get rid of some of these lines though. But as you can see, strong uptrend, bullish momentum, nothing too crazy going on here. It's just been a nice little uptrend move. Any dip to the 21 EMA has been a buyable dip. The question here remains, have semiconductors had enough for the time being? We saw a fair amount of selling pressure on NVDA on Friday, probably some profit taking. And the main question here on that is, okay, have we done enough selling and we can continue to resume the uptrend, or are we going to continue to see a little bit more of a pullback? Because if you look at NVIDIA, we had this nice ramp up to about $974 per share. A lot of people were betting that NVIDIA was going to hit 1,000. And of course, the market was like, not today. And we got that sharp pullback, that outside bar candle on Friday. We got a little bit of continuation today, nothing too crazy, but if we pull back down to the daily 21 EMA, that's still not too bad. Granted, yeah, it was at 974, and a pullback to the daily mean would put you about to the 800 level. That's about 180 points right there on the pullback. But in terms of NVIDIA, that's not too shabby. But as you can see, if you want to point out, well, Fuzz, you got this nice little outside bar on relatively high volume. Maybe some people are trapped now up here. We'll just have to wait and see, especially, with this week. It's an interesting week, especially with that inflationary report coming out tomorrow with CPI. We are expecting a 3.1% year over year, matching the January reading, and then the core reading is going to be the interesting part that excludes your food and energy. That is supposed to come in at 3.7% from 3.9%. So yeah, it's still a little heavy on the inflationary data, but it's still, we are still expecting that inflation is still trying to cool off. If we do get a reading above those expectations, that is definitely going to be a big no-no. We definitely want to see some of these rental prices come down, and as well as these home sales and shelter numbers to start to come down, because those are definitely a problem area for sure. But we are expecting some volatility tomorrow, and we don't really want to see any kind of surprise to the upside as far as that inflation reading. As far as the sectors go, I know we talked a little bit about the main indices. The XLB was your big winner today, up 1.13%, and your semiconductors were your big losers today, down about almost 2%. Dollar hasn't really been doing too much lately, and yields have just been relatively calm. Let me see if this will load up real quick. The dollar, yeah, as you can see, the dollar's not really doing much, just hanging in there. Yields just kind of also hanging out around that 4.1 area. But as you can see, the trend has gotten a little bit damaged here since about November. That's the October-November. That's when the uptrend with the market came into pass. We had this little bit of a ramp up, retraced about 50% of this down move, and then looks like we're trying to resume that downtrend. So we'll see if rates continue to move lower after this CPI reading, and we can see where market expectations are for rate cuts going into tomorrow. The XLE, interesting little sector here as far as leadership goes. XLE is starting to get a little bit of an uptick. If crude oil prices and energy starts to ramp up, that would be a worrisome spot for the inflation readings. I'm still holding positions in PSX, and I entered a new one today in COP, Conoco Phillips, looking for a breakout of this 115.53 area. We got into the April contracts here. Looking to see if we can catch this breakout here. We can see we're in a nice daily squeeze. Trend is neutral, but if we look at the hourly time frame, which I know you can't see on this screen just yet, I'll have to figure out that. The hourly squeeze is firing long and momentum is starting to build up to the upside. So if we do catch a momentum push here, that'll become a nice payout. Earlier I mentioned Boeing. We did take profits on Boeing. We did swing Boeing on Friday. Looking at this, we saw that we took note that the structure was bearish. The moving averages were moving lower. Momentum was pulling us to the downside, and we got that headline today. Setups often meets news, and down we gapped down and took profits right there near our main PT at 188.25. All in all, it was a 100% trade. We took those contracts from $3.60 all the way to $7.20. But all right. Yeah, let's let things see where they want to take us as far as the inflation data goes tomorrow. No doubt about that. We need to pay attention to that. And then as far as earnings goes this week, it's mainly a retail showing this week. Right now we got Oracle earnings coming out, but we also got earnings from Dollar Tree, Petco, Williams Sonoma, Vera Bradley, don't tell my wife, and then we got earnings from Dollar General and Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah, just Ulta, throwing in Ulta as well. Interesting one with Adobe, but mainly retail names out there for this week in general. But all in all eyes are going to be on that inflation data tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. So let's see what that data report brings and go from there. But all right, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Brian Farr. Oh, let me mention this. We are doing a free options webinar. This is going to cover everything from the basics to options selling. I'm going to be teaching more of the options basic stuff. And then Max is going to be joining in for the later parts of those classes to teach more about options selling and some of the spreads that he focuses in on. So join us, sign up for that. I'll get that link posted for y'all and join us. It'll be fun. It's free. All you got to do is sign up and we'll send you the link when it's time to go. And I think that is going to start on March 20th, if I remember correctly. And yeah, let's get to it, guys. Have a blessed one. Bye, guys.